Okay, and for this third part of the welcome video, I have some new information. This is a video update to the original welcome information. I want to tell you about a few things that are different from what you've heard and altered as the class goes ahead. And first of all, let's take a look at the Moodle site again. All right, first of all, in the first welcome video that you had heard, it mentioned that this was the first time I was teaching the class, and this is no longer the first time. So now the class is more mature and has grown somewhat. Also, you'll see that occasionally in some of the videos that you watch, there may be some due dates shown on the screen that had actual dates attached to them. Occasionally, there'll be something on the screen about, oh, use a copyright 2015. Well, of course, now you use this year for the copyright. And occasionally you may see some other things which are dated, slightly dated. However, all the rest of the instructions, the handouts, for instance, should all be adjusted to be non-year oriented. So that should be taken care of. Also, you'll see there's a couple other differences as time's gone on. For instance, we still use Notepad++, but the version of it is slightly different than you may see in a video. However, all the functions are the same, and the link here on Moodle to download it is new and updated, so that should be fine. You'll also see that I have now given you more options, and I am now scrolling this, more examples of students' work. I have more of them here, some newer ones, and I think I would like to say now that I have found in my traditional class, and I encourage you here as part of the online class, to make more use of these. Do look through them and see what the students have done. And eventually, as you learn more, you'll be able to figure out how they did it too, and maybe use some of their ideas yourself. These are, of course, what I call the resume projects. They're much bigger than a regular resume. And it's what you will be creating too. Let me say something about that. As we move ahead, I occasionally have more what we call non-traditional students in this online version of this class, which is great. However, it means that the samples, resumes that you see here are all more traditional students. Your resumes, of course, will be very different. If you've already had a career, you have lots of other activities to talk about. You may have different and more categories. That's all great. I ask you to still be very thorough. And maybe there's some category that just won't apply to you. That's okay too. I think you can adjust this single large exercise, which accounts for most of your grade. You can adjust it to your situation if you are a non-traditional student. Also, you'll see I do mention this Pixlr photo editor at different times. However, I also am aware that more of you perhaps have the option of using Photoshop, perhaps have Photoshop on your own computer or other graphic software. In case you have Photoshop CC, I have created a couple of other another video, particularly for you. In this images one area, which is the first time we use an image processing software, I have an optional video for you to watch, which is how to do this exercise and background images, which comes later, and the banner exercise, which comes later, using Photoshop CC. So perhaps you'd like to watch that. And even if you don't have that software, you might want to watch it just to see how it functions slightly differently. Also, something else that's new and different, you'll see that I have a couple other types of software here that you would use if you have a Mac. For instance, BB Edit, which is Text Wrangler is still around, but BB Edit is another one. It's actually the parent company. It's actually what's going to replace Text Wrangler, and there is a free version of that. You don't have to buy the license. Brackets is something that's getting a lot of attention lately. It's an open source program, so it's available for both PC and Mac. You might want to use that, although I would encourage you, if you do have a PC, to stick with Notepad++. And what else do I want to tell you? Well, there are a number of extra credit opportunities as we go along. Now, maybe you don't care that much about the extra credit, and I know you're going to be very busy, but I strongly encourage you to at least to do the gallery exercise. I think that in the gallery exercise, even if you don't complete it or hand it in for credit, there's a lot of important skills there. If I had more time, I would make that a required exercise. I probably should anyway. It's just the course is so jam-packed. However, let me encourage you, if you're going to do no other extra credit, to please do the gallery exercise. What else? I have added these two links here for CSS gradients and an online color gradient generator. This is a bit more advanced stuff, and it's an optional area in, where is it, where the background images are, which are right here. I made a video about it too. There's no exercise that goes with it. However, it's possible you want to use a CSS gradient and pattern as part of your project. Maybe not, but you might want to learn about it. It's certainly a bit more advanced area of CSS. And I also added more stuff too. I added a whole nother section at the very end, which is completely optional, which is on Dreamweaver. Now, this section is includes a large tutorial, a long handout, like 70 pages, a zip file, which you download too, and a video to get you started. But it only just gets you started. Now, I don't think you're going to have time probably to do this as part of this class. However, I think it could be very valuable, if only, whether you really care to learn Dreamweaver, some of the skills within making this page are really important, and it can be done with anything. But it's best to learn them as part of this tutorial. So what I would suggest is you take this tutorial handout with you, and take the zip file with you, and watch the video perhaps, or just take a link to it with you, and consider doing it outside of the class when this course is actually over. And if you want to, there's no drop boxes or anything, because I'm not expecting you to hand this in. But if you take it and you do it, you'll need a good, I would say 4 hours, if not maybe even a little longer to complete it. Then you, and if you have any problems or questions, email me. I'd be happy to work with you on it, even outside of class. I think there's important skills you could learn there. And what else? This course sort of ignores the 4th of July, which does come during the class, and theoretically is a day that's off. However, there's a lot to do in this class, so I have due dates that go right through the holiday. If you're not going to be able to work on the 4th of July, or perhaps some other day, just rearrange your schedule, but remember the due dates are still due dates. And finally, something that I've found is a little issue with the online version of this class is the course opinion survey, which will be available at the end. You can't do till the very end. Because you're not sitting in a classroom where I can tell you, okay, now go do the course opinion survey, I've had a little problem getting very many people to complete it. I know it's at the very end and you're focused on the final exam and everything, but still I encourage you to please do the course opinion survey at the end. The feedback is very important to me, and give me feedback there beyond the questions if you wish, and or at any time. So please consider doing the course opinion survey at the very end. That's about it. I hope the class works out for you. Let me know how it goes. And again, as usual, if there's problems or questions, you can use the help forum, and you can email me directly.